This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, how there, ho there. It's Jeff Goddard, and welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy. And the birthday boy for today, April the 11th, is a star player for the Vancouver Canucks. He used to be the president of hockey operations. He spent 19 years in the NHL, played for 4 teams: Vancouver, the Islanders, Montreal, and Washington. He got Medicine Hat to win back-to-back Memorial Cups in the 1980s, went to 2 All-Star games, and was a member of the 98 Olympic squad. He is Captain Canuck, Trevor Linden, one of the best Vancouver Canucks of all time. He's 52 today. Trevor Linden played for Medicine Hat in the WHL, helping them win the 87 and 88 Memorial Cup, which is amazing. I mean, you got to win back-to-back Memorial Cups. I don't know who the last team was to do that. I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. No, that this shouldn't take too long. So anyway, I don't know. I think they're the last team to go back to back. Oh, it was Windsor, 2009 and 2010. Fucking Windsor. Yeah, 2010. So Windsor was 2009, 2010. 2010 was when the Kitchener Rangers blew a 3-0 series lead in the conference finals. That would have gotten Kitchener to the OHL final. Anyway, the Canucks decided they liked this guy. So after the Minnesota North Stars took Mike Modano with the first overall pick, which ironically could have been the Leafs with the number 1 pick, but because the Leafs won on the final day and took the Minnesota North Stars out of the playoffs, the North Stars, had the number 1 pick. But Vancouver took Linden number 2. That's not bad. Both teams were happy. And Minnesota had a legend with Mike Modano, so did Vancouver. So Linden made his NHL debut without going to the minors. He scored his first goal against Kelly Hrudey of the New York Islanders. He almost set the record for points by a Canucks rookie, missing out on Ivan Helenka's mark. Anyway, Linden took second in voting for the Calder, a.k.a. the Rookie of the Year, to Brian Leetch. And he got the Canucks to the playoffs, in which they lost to the Flames in Game 7 on that famous Joe Otto goal off the skate. Linden was a smart player, but by age 21, he was made the youngest Canucks captain ever. So he helped the Canucks win their first division title in 1992 for a long time, since 1975. But that did not lead much, as Edmonton took care of Vancouver in the playoffs. Trevor Linden moved to center after the Canucks lost Anatoly Semenov and Peter Nedved during the offseason. Linden would have a great year in 94, helping the Canucks get to the Stanley Cup Finals, even though they were a 7 seed in the West. Linden did score in Game 7, both times. Both Canuck goals in Game 7 against the New York Rangers in the Cup Final was his. And he looked pretty good and all that. Unfortunately, the Canucks would lose that game. Linden did get 25 points. But Linden actually played through the finals with broken ribs and torn rib cartilage. And he did well, like a boss. Anyway, Trevor Linden had the record for most consecutive games played as a Vancouver Canuck, like consecutive games without injury and all that. But it was broken by Brandon Morrison later on. Trevor Linden was captain, but for some strange reason, he gave up the captaincy to Mark Messier after the Canucks signed Messier in the offseason in 97-98. Linden said he would give up the captaincy out of respect, but regretted the move because Messier's invasion of the dressing room was hostile. There was a lot of friction between Linden and new head coach Mike Keenan. Mike Keenan was kind of a bitch, if you ask me. But anyway, Linden didn't look that good. Before the Olympics in 98, the Canucks decided to trade him to the New York Islanders, this seemed like a bad pick. However, the Canucks came out aces as they took up Todd Bertuzzi and Brian McCabe. So even though McCabe didn't really make much of a dent in Vancouver, and more so for Toronto, I mean Bertuzzi. I mean to get Bertuzzi, who was a Canuck staple, that was a great trade, and they fleeced the Islanders and all that. The Islanders decided to trade Linden to the Montreal Canadiens for a first-round pick in the '99 NHL draft. It was basically financial reasons and all that. The Islanders wasted that first-round pick on Branislav Meze. Who the fuck was he? Anyway. But Linden would be often injured with the Canadiens and didn't really do that well. He signed a 4-year, $15 million deal with Montreal, but unfortunately he ended up being traded in 2001. Going to Washington alongside Danius Subris and a second-round pick in exchange for Richard Sednick, Jan Bulis, and Washington's first-round pick in 2001. The Habs actually screwed up. They took often controversial Alex Perjogin. But they got Sednick, so Montreal did well and all that. They did reach the playoffs for the first time in 4 years in 2001. He would only play 28 games in 2 seasons with the Caps. Linden did not do so well. So the Caps decided to trade Linden back to Vancouver alongside a second-round pick for the Canucks' first-round pick in 2002, which Washington wasted on Boyd Gordon, and a third-round pick in 2003. Linden had a little bit of a wild streak to him, but Linden would help the Canucks do well. And he played for the Canucks until 2008. Trevor Linden was named the first star of his final game, and took a victory lap. So it was amazing. Linden decided to announce his retirement as the franchise leader in games played with the Canucks and assists. Well, games played he still has, but assists it was surpassed by Henrik Sedin. Canucks easily decided to retire Linden's number 16 December of 2008. Becoming only the second Canuck to do so after Stan Smyl. That's amazing. So anyway, Trevor Linden has a wife and child. First child, 2017. Wow, that was a long time coming. He was the NHLPA president. That's basically the Players Association. Like the Players Union, if you will. He was elected president in 98. And did it to 2005, but unfortunately, because of the lockout, he lost it. He had a community involvement with the city of Vancouver. So, with the Canucks, 1,382 games, 867 points. In the playoffs, 99 points in 124 games. So he did pretty well for the Canucks. I mean, Vancouver loves him. As much as the Sedin twins. But, Linden is smart. And a great player and a great member of the management of the Vancouver Canucks, even though that they kind of sucked at times. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.